Good morning, gardening friends. Well, it's almost, there's 4 more minutes. It's 11:56. We're just the day past the time change, so I'm a little off. And a lot has happened, so I just want to kind of give you the overall update. That tree that I'm approaching there has been cut back even more. We've pulled a bunch of stuff out of there, so that's a bit clearer. The tangerine tree, we have picked quite a bit off of it. There's still quite a few on there, but they're the harder ones to get to. And with tangerines, we do have a picker, if you can imagine just sort of yanking an orange off a tree. But the problem is with the tangerines, the skin is so soft that if you try and do it that way with the picker, it ends up cutting open the skin, basically, leaving a hole at the top where the stem was. And then you have to eat it immediately. So you can't pick a bunch and store them. I suppose you could, but it's not as good. So you really do have to kind of reach up somehow and snip them off one by one. Or actually what I've been doing is using a pole saw with a, what do you call it, a lopper on it, and lopping off the ends of some of the branches, which has cut that back a little bit. But anyway, that's that. Back here, I finally decided, okay, I've got all of these extra little rocks from all of the little projects where I'm moving soil around. I just decided let's put them in behind this garbage can. And actually, as it turns out, we borrowed one of the neighbor's cans. So tomorrow is garbage day. We'll get them both, or sorry, Wednesday's garbage day. It's Monday now. And the rain is coming, so that's part of, I've been working really hard trying to get a bunch of stuff done, and I've really been documenting it. So in we go. Now you can see this is cleaned up a bit. The hardscaping here is cleaned up a bit. That one container I had that was available to plant something is now in use. I've used some of the soil that was just sitting in that pot. Pulled a bunch of weeds, not all of it actually. Over on that side, we've cleared back a couple of feet from the wall all the way to the corner. Clean some stuff up. Let's see. This isn't looking a whole lot different, but I have kind of slightly rearranged the pepper plants to accommodate the tomato, which I believe I mentioned. The person who loaned it to us said go ahead and keep it as long as it's still alive. So that's that. This stuff, not terribly interesting. But then up on the wall here is where I've got, let's see, we've got the various types of lettuce, just random seeds that I had. Little sprouts here and there, not much, and some leaves that have fallen in. The Swiss chard, I really need to pick some of that and thin it out. Then we've got the celery plant, which I did a video on building the box for it. I wanted to do a new video on how I build the boxes, so that should be posted now. I'm actually probably about 8 videos behind in terms of posting, but there's the celery, and here's the other new one in that container I mentioned, and that is a Roma tomato. I just happened to be at the dollar store, and they just happened to have some plants out, and one of them was a Roma tomato, so I went ahead and grabbed that. More Swiss chard in a pot that doesn't really mean anything. I mean, the pot in front of the Swiss chard doesn't mean anything. Anyway, we got peas here. We've got the nasturtium, a couple of tomato plants, and I've rearranged things a bit because, like I said, the rain is coming. Also, I should point out that the one that was closer to the fence, or sort of further back, unfortunately something is chopping off my bean plants. I'm not sure what the deal is with that, so I've moved them out a little bit. Maybe that'll help. But the biggie today was redoing part of the hill here. There was a lot of dirt down here from, actually part of that was my fault from doing some moving dirt around and kind of manicuring the hill back here. I ended up with more soil, and some of the hardscaping ended up with more soil than I knew what to do, so I actually tossed it in here, down at the bottom. Now I've kind of shaped it back. And the other problem was that we had a agave plant. There were three in a row, and the one at the top wasn't looking very good. I went up there and I realized it had basically fallen out of its own hole. So I took another one that we happen to have over on the other side of the house and put that up there as a replacement and packed the dirt around it the best I could, and I've just got to hope that the rain that's coming isn't going to dislodge everything I just did. But that's kind of where that is. That's kind of where we are with the update, and I'm tired. I'm going to go in, take a shower, relax, and wait for the rain. This is the Budget Gardener signing off, saying may your thumb be green.